guest of honor hiding in there.
Don't take it yet.
I'm
I'm
in charge.
Get out of your way.
I hope so. I bought one
What did you do? What's that? There she is.
For the big moment, I hope.
Oh, of course.
Chairperson of the dinner committee, Cecile, goes to Barney Brown. And he is here tonight. Nick Ashworth would like to say a few words introducing me and his partner, Herb Moses. But before, as Dick's coming up, I was thinking about, actually, Mr. Frank and I, Congressman Frank and I, Barney, what do you say?
Thank you very much for your welcome. My name is Herb Moses. I'm Marty's lover.
Herb and I make a point of trying to share events like this because one of the things we realized when we began talking about marriage and domestic partnership, you go to people who have allowed prejudice to impair what should be one of the great sources of joy in their life, their relationship with their children. You have encouraged them to repair that breach, and at the same time you have restored them to being able fully to enjoy the love they should have for their children. You make them powerful soldiers in this war against bigotry and intolerance in this country. And I think we're going to win it, and I'm very appreciative of what you do. Thank you for this. Herb is a part of his spare time, so it was very appropriate that we get this. We've got a lot that this can stand next to.
PFLAG, you really know how to build, Lord.
This most humbling request that I present PFLAG is one of PFLAG's Big Apple Awards to Suzanne Goldberg. Brought with it the wonderful opportunity of having to think about her.
Our final award, we go to Sally Miller, board member. Making an introduction to her are her two daughters, Deborah Burke and Wendy Miller.
I asked Deborah to help me find the microphone. I didn't ask her to bang my head into it. We are the twin daughters of Sally Miller. We have a remarkable person. She's a two-time cancer survivor, and she's learned to live through her own psychological and physical pain. But it's her devotion and her selflessness that makes her such an incredible person and so worthy of this award. Her only brother, Terry, died last year from AIDS after a long 6-year battle. He was an accomplished man, and his loss was devastating to all of us, but especially to our mother.
The final year of Terry's life was spent in a state of dementia. He was confused by time, by place, events, and his behavior. At age 69, our mother made a 3-hour trip to Manhattan every day. She sat with him for hours on end. She held his hand, she wetted his brow, she read him stories, she quietly sat by his side. Terry was often unaware of her presence. She made the daily trek anyway for those few precious moments of recognition and the opportunity often to console Terry's friends. Since the 1970s, she's been nothing short of heroic, ever since our brother came out to her family. At a time when many other parents turned their backs on their gay children, our mother did exactly the opposite. Along with her father, she marched in the gay pride parade every year in New York City, truly beyond her physical limitations, and even once was ambulanced to the nearest hospital. It's been exactly 50 years since our mother gave up her dream of living and working in New York City in the broadcast industry. She gave it up for her family. Sally Lee, as she was known, worked at WCBS Radio and for the Hit Parade. And as a matter of fact, she was one of the 2 young women who was first hired to actually scream for Frank Sinatra. But in the 1940s, she married and moved to suburbia to raise her family, as most women were expected to do back then, and her dream was put on indefinite hold.
For a woman who never thought of herself as the mothering type, she did an amazing job. Sally Miller became a surrogate mother for hundreds of gay men and women whose true parents had abandoned them or who were afraid to come out to their parents for fear of rejection. She went to many same-sex weddings and stood in as family members. She was one of the people who started working at Miracle House in the early days, helping parents of other children who were dying of AIDS, and she attended many same-sex workshops. She was surrogate family to many people and led some of these workshops herself.
She also lectures at colleges and has appeared in dozens of radio and TV talk shows, where she likes that part, to comfort the gay children and to try and bridge the parental gap. She's been awarded a certificate of commendation from the Coalition for Lesbian and Gay Rights, commending her for her help in the passage of Local Law 2, which bans discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation in the city of New York in 1986. She's previously chaired this dinner that you're attending tonight, and with the number of enormous letters that she sent to the editors, she's probably completed an entire rainforest. And she's written these in support of gays and lesbians. For all of her efforts, Sally Miller
It's our turn now. It's all of our turn. To formally recognize the selflessness of Sally Miller through this award you're bestowing upon her this evening.
It's a tribute and a thank you for all she's given to her children and to many other people's children for so many years.
It gives us the great pleasure to introduce you to our mom, your VP, the fabulous Sally Miller.
After that, I can hardly wait to meet me. We've just survived another political campaign. We've heard over and over about the difficulties of raising a family, supporting our children, giving people the tools to live successful lives, supporting our teachers, protecting values, safer streets, healthcare, crime, violence, opportunity, all of the beliefs that provide citizens with a better existence. They spoke of liberalism, conservatism, a village, a bridge, the past, the future, hopes and dreams. The parents in this room could really teach the candidates about family values. The gay and lesbian men and women in this room could really teach voters about limited opportunities, limited health care, limited acceptance, crime and violence in their neighborhood, lack of understanding in the classroom, in essence, removing all the tools and supports needed to live carefree and productive lives. Oh, what a political convention we would have had. When our children found the courage to come out to themselves, they were often school age. How many were fortunate enough to find teachers who were understanding? Guidance personnel who could make reasonable suggestions, fellow students who would lend an empathetic ear. When they summoned the courage to speak with their parents, many were afraid to risk their own family's acceptance. When our children made their way through higher education or employment opportunities, how much of themselves did they have to hide because the world wasn't ready? How carefully must they search for a medical doctor who would care for them, landlords who would rent to them, neighborhoods free of violence, employers free of prejudice. Those of us who call New York home may find these scenarios somewhat extreme. But remember, our children live in other places in this country. How many times have we heard of lifelong mates being refused entry into a hospital room when their lover is sick or dying? How often have we heard of a child being removed from its natural mother because mom is living with another woman? What about the prejudice when our children desire to adopt youngsters who will be our future grandchildren? Does the justice system treat our children fairly in a court of law? Should our children be assessed full taxes when they are only given partial rights and partial protection? We We brought up our children to be law-abiding and honest. Now they're told, don't ask, don't tell. Where is the honesty in that approach? Now that Mr. Clinton is removed from the process of running for president, I hope he will begin to act more presidential and do the things that I know he knows are right. That is, if Congress will allow it. Some of the stories one reads states that gays want special privileges. Can anybody name just one? Whenever equal rights are requested, the public misinterprets this as special rights. When my husband and I joined this organization many years ago, we had the feeling that we were here only to help others, never realizing the day would come when we too would need support. When we first marched in the Gay Pride Parade, we thought we would have stones thrown at us, never expecting the love and adoration that we received from the young people on the sidewalks. To participate in that parade is the ultimate liberation for parents and their children. How different our lives would have been if we had not had a gay child. How many wonderful people and wonderful experiences we would have missed. We have spoken on many radio and television shows, spoken to many college students, addressed professional panels, participated in gay rights TV commercials, met legislators in Albany, Washington, and on local levels, attended gay and lesbian ceremonies of commitment, and shared stories, experiences, and opportunities with some of the very best people on this planet. When our son's luck ran out and his AIDS status sent him to the hospital and later a nursing home, we met the most understanding, loving, and caring doctors, nurses, aides, social workers, lovers, and friends. We came face to face with the gay community and discovered the love and the support that they give each other. We unfortunately also found parents without PFLAG connections who turned their backs on their own children. Our son Terry's death left us with a hole that will never be filled, and a sadness that will never disappear. But that only reflects on the richness of the person who left us. To quote a member of this organization, I will always remain, I will always be the parent of a gay child. And I know he would have been proud of your honoring me in this way. Thank you.
I'd like to say that we have received some greetings from the President of